the Edison Welding Institute in Columbus, Ohio, and I was working with the HR director there, Mark Madsen. And what they wanted to do, what the HR director wanted to do, was to convince the engineers who were part of this engineering consulting company, there are about 200-ish engineers, to do selling, to do effective selling, going and doing presentations, conference papers. Engineers weren't really interested in selling, kind of like your faculty, not really interested in doing fundraising, not really interested in doing marketing. That's not their expertise. They want to solve the complex academic research problems. The engineers wanted to solve the complex technical problems. And so they brought me in to try to get the engineers to do selling. What I found was that when the company was trying to convince engineers to do selling, what they were doing was using terms like being a brand, so improving the organization and so on, terms that really weren't resonating emotionally with the engineers. And so I came to Mark and I told Mark, hey, Mark, your terms really, the way you're speaking to your engineers, they're not really resonating with the engineers. They're not really resonating with the emotions of the engineers' emotions. And Mark asked me, engineers have emotions? Now, you might sometimes think that about your faculty, wouldn't you? That they don't really present as having emotions, neither do engineers, but they're driven at the core by emotions, by various desires, fear, anxieties, pleasure, other things, which we can talk about in more depth. So I talked to the engineers, did a 360, did some focus groups, found out that what really motivated them was social status among peers. That was really important for them, and that's of course going to be very important among your faculty too. And what we did was we changed the reward structure in terms of terminology, how you spoke to the engineers, to praise the engineers who did do marketing, who did do conference presentations, who did become thought leaders, wrote blogs, and so on. And the engineers after that were much more motivated to do selling. So it's a matter of finding their emotional resonance points and engaging with them.